Hey guys, and it's the funkyplaybrothers, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. And today I'm reading Five Nights at Freddy's Tales from the Pizzaplex Somniphobia Part 4. We last left off with Sam going in the dream sphere for an extra amount of time, trying to see his father again. The scene shifted. The apple he'd been eating floated up into the air. It seemed broken apart in sections at the seam. The core, the seeds, the inner pulp of the apple, and the skin. The nutrients of the apple listed before his eyes, as well as the health benefits to the body. Wow, he said in awe. Looks like I need to eat more apples. Then the memories arrived. His mom and dad took him on a road trip to an amusement park. They rode fast rides, played games, and ate funnel cake. Dad won him a stuffed giraffe and let him sit on his shoulders. They walked through the swarm of people. He could see everything from the height. He thought he saw a funny hat with a bell hanging from the tip among the crowd, and a clown with a fluffy red hair. Up ahead of them, he could feel the light brush of wind against his skin from that day. A seagull flew by him and landed on a nearby fence. Sam tried to grab it. The bird squawked and flew away. A trip to the zoo followed Dad. Dad kneeled down next to Sam and then watched the gorillas stretch out in the sun. He could smell his dad's aftershave and felt the comfort of being with him. The smaller monkeys made Sam laugh as they swung from trees and picked at one another's hair. His dad tried to pick at his hair and they giggled together. There was a fun moment when they had a picnic at the beach. Mom and Dad helped him make sand castles molded with plastic buckets, but a wave washed them over. Sam was upset until his dad splashed him with some cold seawater, and a splash fight began. Sam could taste the salty air as if he was really there and feel the grainy sand on his skin. He realized family movie night. Sam sat on the couch, squeezed in between Mom and Dad with a big bowl of popcorn on his lap. His mouth watered with the taste of butter, and his skin warmed at the coziness of the room. He felt loved and secured, wedged in the middle of his parents. Those were some of the best moments of his life. It seemed Sam had forgotten all the wonderful times they'd had together, or perhaps he buried them deep within his mind because remembering had hurt too much. His alarm sounded. Sam turned off the dream sphere with a soft smile on his face. He wasn't too sad this time. He was contented to relive those moments again. He pulled out the CD player, slipped on the headphones, and lay back on his bed listening to his dad's music. Then he replayed the memories he'd just experienced in his mind like his own personal home movie. Sometime later he blinked when he heard his mom come to the apartment. His room had slightly darkened with the late afternoon. He sat up, pulled off the headphones, and rubbed his eyes. Trying to shake the drowsy feeling from his head, he looked at his watch. He'd been lying down, replaying memories in his mind for over an hour and a half. He hadn't realized how much time has passed. That evening, Sam found his mom in his room, holding the dream sphere. A flash of irritation came over him. "Mom, what are you doing?" his voice urged. He tried to stop himself from scratching and snatching at her. Mom's eyes widened. "Whoa, just checking out the funny ball. What's got you in a twist?" He adjusted his glasses. "Nothing. I don't know what you're doing. It's rads. We've been We have to be careful with it. Please just leave it alone." "I know it's rads. Sheesh. You have been using this every day." "No," he fibbed, tossing his arms. "But when I do it, it helps me remember my school notes." Mom lifted an eyebrow. I don't recall you ever having trouble memorizing your notes before, and you seem to be a little intense about this ball." Sam blinked. "What? I'm not intense." She gave him the mom stare that he knew so well. It looked at basically said, "Get real. Just be careful with things like these, Sam. Pretty soon you could be clucking like a chicken, and then what would we do?" "And I'm only half kidding." Sam sighed. Sure, Mom. She finally set the sphere down and his left his room. Closing the door behind her, Sam felt his heartbeat start to slow down. He sat on his bed and picked up the sphere. Moondrop stared up at him with red eyes. If she only knew how truly great you are, she wouldn't be giving me such a hard time about you. He felt a strange vibration coming from the sphere again, and felt the urge to give the dream sphere another go, even though he'd already had a session that day. Maybe just a quick 10 minutes, he thought. But when he heard his mom washing dishes and singing along with the radio, he decided to wait until tomorrow. He might be too distracted with his mom at home. During the night, he tossed and turned. He could sense the sphere sitting beside him on the little table. He didn't look at it, but he knew it was there. The sheets felt itchy and warm. He kicked off the sheets and rolled to the side. Moondrop stared right at him. For a split second, he thought the red eye flashed bright. He blinked and the light was gone. He was probably just half asleep, but he still felt the uncomfortable urge to turn on the dream sphere and slip back into that familiar lucid state. He reached out his hand to push on the on button and stopped himself again. Sam blinked rapidly in irritation, and his chest felt tight. He clicked on the table lamp and sat up in bed, picking up the dream sphere. His shoulders were stiff and his legs were restless. He couldn't relax, but with the sphere, he always felt calm. He really needed that right now. He shook his head. No, I can wait until tomorrow. After school, when I'm home alone. He got up, unplugged the sphere, placed the globe in the closet, and closed the door. Tomorrow, he murmured, as his eyes drooped. He just needed some sleep. Sam went to school that day with a bad case of brain fog. He was irritable. He wasn't sure why. In class, he felt disconnected. He sat in government class and he was supposed to be taking notes, but he just stared at the whiteboard the entire time. He was aware of Miss Taylor speaking to the class, but he couldn't focus on his words. Earth to Sam, hello, Jules called to him. Sam blinked. Huh? Jules snapped his fingers in front of his nose. Wake up. Class is over, dude. The bell rang. Space how much? Oh. He looked around the class. The other kids were already up, heading out the door. What's the matter with you? Nothing. He got up and grabbed his backpack from the floor, and Jules accidentally bumped into him as he was walking by. Sam scowled. Watch where you're going. Jules turned and scowled back at him. You watch where you're going. Then he bumped into him again intentionally as he left the class. Sam had to step back in order not to fall over. Jules had bumped him on purpose. Sam strode into his locker to grab his lunch and slam the metal door closed. Hi, Sam. He jumped. Linda was standing next to him. He sighed. Oh, Linda, didn't see you there. Is everything okay? Sam had just adjusted his backpack, but now he looked up at her suspiciously. Yeah, why? Her eyes widened and she took a step back. You look a little upset is all. Sam shrugged. Just tired today. He wasn't upset. Was she okay? What? He wasn't upset. Was she okay? Her lips quivered upward. Yeah, school can get tiring. I was thinking. Yeah, well, he said, interrupting her. I gotta go. He walked away. Oh, okay, bye. As Sam walked to the bleachers, he wondered why people were suddenly interested in how he was acting or feeling. Normally, people didn't even seem to see him or care to talk to him. Now, when he was wanted to be left alone, it was like people were all up in his business. He sat on a bleacher, a row below Rad. How is it going, Sam? His friend asked him. Fine, but it wasn't going fine. Sitting in the sun, he realized he forgot his hat and his sunscreen. He hadn't felt like making a sandwich that morning, so all he had was fruit, and it probably wouldn't fill him up. Today was turning out to be a total downer. You all right? You look a little tired. His shoulders went stiff. I said I'm fine. Red lifted up a hand. All right, cool. Jules butted in from his stance leaning against the side railing. He was spaced out in government class too. I think the dream sphere is making him seriously wig out. Think it's time to pass it on to the next person who can handle it. Me. No, it's not making me do anything. I haven't even used it much, Sam said. I just didn't sleep well. As if it's any of your business. You'll get your turn after the week is over. Now drop it. He turned to Rad. Every day he's on my case. Give me the sphere. Share the sphere. He hasn't had the sphere yet, and he's already wigging about it. Bogart laughed, and Jules didn't like it. You're the one wigging out, Jules spat out. You're probably freaking obsessed with it. You probably use it all day, every day, like a dork that you are. I'm not a dork, Sam snapped back. You're the dork. You can't wait his turn. Bogart snorted. Look at Sam being all grouchy. Does the sphere make you grouchy? Maybe I should pass my turn. I like being in a good mood. Sam's hand clenched into fists. I'm not grouchy. Larry said. Danielle. Sam stood. Just shut up. I don't even care if I use the sphere anymore or not. I'm not even going to use it today either, just to prove you wrong. Then hand it over, Jules said. It's not at home, jerkwad. It's at home, jerkwad. What did you call me? Jules stepped closer on the bleachers. You heard me. Let's all calm down, Rad said. Always the peacemaker. Take it easy, Sam. Everyone's just kidding around. Jules, relax, man. I think everyone's a little on edge today. Sam's eyes began to hurt again. If I'm on edge, it's because sometimes I don't feel like kidding around with you guys, okay? Sometimes I don't want to be a target for you to pick on or tell me what's wrong about me. Sometimes I just want to be left alone. He grabbed his lunch bag and stomped down the bleachers to do just that, to be alone. He could see some of the other seniors whispering about him as he stormed off. What? He snapped at the guy staring at him. The guy just rolled his eyes. Sam's shoulders were moving up and down with his breaths, and he knew he needed to calm down. He found a small corner against the school building and slid to the ground. He was tired, and yeah, he was grouchy, but he didn't need his friends telling him what he already knew. He took a banana, peeled it, and ate it. Then he took out his apple and bit into it. He closed his eyes and tried to calm down in order to stop the anxiety crawling at his chest. He wished he had his dad's CD player, but he didn't. So he pictured himself sinking into a dream state with the sphere, where he was always calm and at peace, where no one could bother him or tell him what he was acting in the wrong way, where he was free from anxiety, where life was safe. The end of school couldn't have come fast enough. Sam turned off his phone and walked home. He didn't meet the guys in the parking lot. He still felt off, and he wasn't sure what the problem was. He couldn't totally blame the other guys. They were the same, always cracking a joke about someone, often about Sam. But usually Sam brushed it off. Usually Sam avoided confrontation. Today he couldn't seem to do that, maybe because of the lack of sleep or because he hadn't eaten enough. He stopped at a mini-mart and looked for something to eat, but everything was processed and loaded up with sugar and chemicals. He eyed an energy drink, hesitated, then walked to the coffee machine instead. He needed a quick energy boost. He bought a coffee and drank it on the way home. He shuddered because it tasted bad, but the caffeine would hopefully snap him out of the brain fog. He walked by the neighborhood shopping center. Cars drove by on the busy street. A kid rolled next to him on a skateboard. He saw an ad for Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex at a bus stop. He looked at Glamrock Freddy, Roxanne Wolf, Glamrock Chica, and Montgomery Gator, all together looking happy and cheerful. He walked further, and he saw snow globes in the window for sale. Then the next window, hanging bells. Everything reminded him of the dream sphere, Moondrop's dream sphere. He'd wanted to use the sphere while he was at school. He wanted to use it right now, but he was trying to prove to his friends, to himself, that he could stop whenever he wanted, that he wasn't wigging out on about it, that he wasn't obsessed. Yeah, it was irritable, but if he had another session with the sphere, he knew he'd feel better. The anxiety would be completely gone. The irritation would disappear. Isn't that all that mattered? Why shouldn't he deprive himself of happiness just because of what Jules thought? He didn't even have to know. Everyone had the right to feel good, to feel happy, even Sam. And that was what he would do. Make himself happy. He finished off the bad coffee, tossed the cup in the garbage can, and then jogged the rest of the way home. He went straight to his room. He was breathing fast, and he licked his dry lips. He dropped his backpack and kicked off his shoes. He opened the closet and put the dream sphere back on his bedside table where it belonged. He took off his glasses, set his watch at 20 minutes, and pushed the on button on the dream sphere. Moondrops spun, the lights flashed, and Sam felt his emotion level out as he slipped into a lucid dream. He was exactly where he was meant to be. When his alarm went off and he came out of the dream state, he felt relieved and calm. Although this time he felt tired, pretty much nearing exhaustion. There was no energizing feeling like when he first started using the sphere. He wasn't sure why. Was he using the dream sphere too much, he wondered? But then he disregarded that right away. Everything was just fine. He remembered to turn on his phone and a bunch of texts pop up. His eyes widened. Oh no. He'd forgotten that he was supposed to help Rad with his yard work. He sneezed. He squeezed his eyes shut. He hated disappointing people, especially Rad. He rubbed his head hard and then quickly texted him. I'm so sorry. I didn't feel well after school and went straight home to rest. I should have texted you and let you know. I can help you tomorrow. Promise. Rad texted back. No worries. I got Jules to help me. Sam's shoulders sagged. Rad was his only good friend. He didn't want to mess things up with him. He got up since his mom would be home soon, but he felt like he could lay around for another hour or two. He went to his bedroom mirror and blinked. He was paler than usual, and he actually had some dark circles under his eyes. His hands were in fists like he was ready to fight someone, and he deliberately unclenched them, rubbing his palms against his thighs. He had a passing thought that maybe it was the dream sphere that was making him exhausted, but then Rad's words came into his mind. Come on, Sam, what could go wrong with this spinning globe with lights? He heard his mom come through the door. He took a breath and pasted a smile on his face, but it felt unnatural, so he stopped trying to look happy and went out to meet her. Conversation at dinner with Mom had been nearly non-existent. Dinner was simple, soup and rice. Sam was tired, and if Mom was quiet, she was also tired. Mom got up to put her bowl and spoon in the sink. Sam followed and then turned to go to his room. Sam, it's your turn to do the dishes, she told him. Sam sighed, and then he turned to face her. I'm too tired tonight. Can you do them? She lifted an eyebrow. We made a deal a while ago to take turns, and it's your turn. Can't you make an exception? No, I'm tired too, and I do the dishes when it's my turn, whether I'm tired or not, and usually so do you. He waved a hand. Fine, I'll do them tomorrow after school. She sighed. You know I don't like the kitchen to be a mess. That's not my problem, he snapped. That is, Mom crossed her arms. What is going on with you? What do you mean? I mean with the bad attitude. It's not like you don't like the dirty dishes to sit because of the bacteria buildup. That was true, but at the moment he didn't really care. What's really going on, Sam? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you don't? Look at your shirt, huh? Look down at your shirt. Sam looked down at his shirt and his eyes widened. What's wrong with this picture, Sam? His mom walked toward him and pinched the sleeve of his shirt. It's wrinkled. You never wear wrinkled clothes. You went to school like this? I forgot, he said quietly. He pushed up his glasses. He stormed past him to his bedroom and raised an arm as if to showcase his room. Your bedroom's a mess. Your backpack is thrown on the floor along with your shoes, and your clothes have missed the laundry basket, and you never do that, Sam, never. So I'm going to ask you something, and I expect an honest answer. Are you doing something that you're not supposed to be doing? He stepped back. What? No, Mom, no, I'm not doing anything bad, I promise. Then what's going on? Had something happened at school that I don't know about? Is this about a girl? She stomped over to the dream sphere. Is it this thing? What the heck is it doing to you? An irritational wave of upset feelings overcame Sam. No, Mom, just stop and leave me alone. No, whatever is going on, I want it to stop. And I want this thing gone. Do you understand? Give it back to Rad. Sam raised his arms in expressionation. I will, just don't worry about it. Stop getting on my case about every little thing. I'm your mother, and I will worry about anything I want, because you're still a child, and it's my job to take care of your well-being. When you understand that, things will go a lot easier. His mom stormed out, and Sam went into his room, slamming the door on her outrageous accusations. He threw himself on the bed, tossed off his glasses, and growled into his pillow. He turned his head, and he was face to face with Moondrop. You get me, don't you? Even though his mom was home, he set his wrist alarm, pushed on the dream sphere, and stared into the spinning lights. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time for part 5. So, guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter at the Funky Play Bros. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Funky Play Brothers. Support us on Cash App at the $ Funky Play Brothers so we can have more unboxings, more taste tests, more adventures, more reading Thursdays, more monies, and for support. Thank you for watching. Bye.